I don't know if I did something wrong with this. Okay, so now I'm a little bit pissed off. Okay, so tragedy has struck. I have 3 little ones and 1 big one. Alright, so it is Monday after work. I was planning on picking that up from the mail today. That's the little fuse panel, fuse box, whatever you want to call it thing. And then that way I could, hook that up and I could test out the fan and anything else that comes in. I could, hook up the test out and start working on things. And it's supposed to arrive today, so that's by 8 p.m. Right now it's 6:30 p.m. It shipped, and it wasn't out for delivery at all today. So I decided to go and check out the USPS tracking. And according to this, all that has happened was that 5 days ago, it left from New Jersey. I live right across the border in Pennsylvania. And there's nothing. All it says is on its way to USPS. So I have no idea when the hell I'm getting this thing. I looked up online and I know that Lowe's apparently doesn't really sell anything quite like that. At least not in stores anyway. So I'm kind of just stuck waiting for this thing. And I have no idea when the hell it's going to get here. Which really sucks because apparently my lights and switches and all kinds of stuff were delivered today. I didn't even bother picking them up because I can't do anything with them. So I don't know when that's going to come in. I guess I'm just going to mainly focus on getting those studs up in the meantime because I can't really do anything else electrical wise until then. I put in an order for those connectors for the batteries, and those are supposed to come next Monday, I think. So I can't really do anything with that yet. They didn't really have anything like that at Lowe's, Home Depot, anything like that. So I'm just waiting for those. So yeah, so just waiting on the wonderful mail system in this country. Like I said, New Jersey's not a big state, and I live right across the river from New Jersey. So how it is taking them, I mean, it's been 5 days already, and now they haven't even apparently figured out where the hell it is yet. So who knows when that's going to happen. So I'm going to actually, still got a little bit of light out here. I have the phone trying to get it to actually have more space on it. I deleted a bunch of the old videos, but it still didn't give me more space. It just moved it to other, so I can't actually export the last video I made for this past week. So I have it connected to my laptop right now, but I'm going to go outside. Won't be able to film it, but I'm going to go out there and work on some more of that kind of measuring, figure out where I'm going to put everything. I initially wanted to put, I realize I'm just filming USPS website here, nothing here, but I can't go outside with a phone right now. I wanted to put the kind of studs, as I call them, going every 2 feet, and then the wood. Let me see if I actually have, try to pull it up here. I sent myself a bunch of links, so I'll actually pull up what I was looking at. Okay, so this is, let's see. Oh, this is, I think, a different piece of wood. Maybe it's not. I don't remember. I don't know. I have to look. I think there was also a 4-foot one that I was looking at. And then this is what I'm planning on using for the actual studs going up and down the wall. But then I wanted to use the smaller wood, either 3-foot or 4-foot. I have to look again to basically go across. So instead of just putting up big sheets of plywood and having it not really look all that great, I think it'll look a lot nicer with individual pieces of wood going across it. So they're going to be 4 inches wide, so I figure, if I was planning on using the 4 inch, what was it? 4 foot. Where is it? This one says 3 foot, but like I said, I think I found a different one that I liked instead. That was 4 foot, and they plan basically put them, those stud things 2 feet apart, so I could connect the board at the one board in the corner, and then connect it midway through that board to another stud, and then have it go halfway across the next 4 inches of that next stud, connect it there, and then boom, the next one starts right there halfway into that one, and then connects again to the middle one, and then again halfway through the next one. But looking at the layout in the van there. I don't know how well that's going to work because I have to work around the wheel well. The windows are in there. I also have to think about just practicality. Like, it's not all exactly, divisible by 2 feet going all the way across the van. Like, when I was in there yesterday looking at it, I would have ended up, if I was doing that, 2 foot, 2 foot, 2 foot, I would have started in that corner by the back doors, and then going up towards that sliding door, there would have just been an extra amount just kind of left there that wouldn't be covered. So I would have to figure out what the hell I'm doing with that. So I think I'm just going to have to kind of figure out good spots to put them, and I have to figure out exactly what length I'm using for those pieces going across, and then just kind of just put those stud pieces wherever it seems practical, and then just have to kind of adjust the size of these pieces to fit it the best that I can get them to fit. So yeah, so it's not going to be easy just math formula, just 2 feet, 2 feet, 2 feet, and then put this here, put that there. Instead, it's going to be a little bit more complicated, but I think in the end it'll be a lot better than going that route, because I would have ended up with some awkward situations just trying to strictly stay to that system. So yeah, so like I said, because how long this is taking, this has probably been going on for at least half an hour. Let me show you. So online that said you have to do a backup, and that will remove all that junk that's in that other folder. And it's taking forever. So I'm not going to be filming anything tonight, but I'm just going to go out there and just kind of like put some tape up and kind of start sketching it out along the wall, especially along that that wall by the sliding door where the solar stuff is, and start kind of sketching that out essentially with some painter's tape and using the measuring tape to figure out where everything's going to go. And then tomorrow, I don't think it's supposed to rain or anything tomorrow. Maybe I will pick up the wood then. If that other thing ever comes in, I'll pick that up as well, and I can mess with that. But yeah, I want to focus on getting at least those studs up for now, because hooking anything else up solar-wise, electrical-wise, it's just going to start to become a huge pain in the ass with all those wires going everywhere, all over the floor and stuff. So I really want to get these, at least the studs, going, and then focus on doing the wall bits on there too. Alright, so I'm going to head outside while we still got some light, and I guess I'll just fill you in on whatever the hell happens when I can actually take my phone out there. Okay, so it is Saturday morning. A couple days ago, I forget when, I picked up a bunch of wood. So I have these long, I think they're 10-foot pieces, 3/4 of an inch thick and 4 inches wide there. Those are going to be for those kind of like stud framing pieces. I did kind of mark out initial spots where I was going to put those. I'm not sure if I'm dead set on those or if I want to make smaller gaps between them. And then I have a whole pile of these 1/2 inch thick, 3 foot long, and I believe 6 inches wide pieces. Well, everything that they had there. I'm thinking that I might not use those for the entire wall though. I might use kind of like big pieces of plywood, kind of like what I use for the floor, to cut out to do the parts that are going to be hidden anyway, just because it would be cheaper to do it that way, and I'm not going to be seeing stuff behind like the cabinets and all that kind of stuff anyway. Also picked up some self drilling screws or whatever the hell they're called. I forget. And then also picked up some paint. I want to, once I get like the walls up, not just the frame, I want to kind of do like a whitewash kind of a thing going on with it. So yeah, so that's what is going to be happening today. Figuring out exactly where those frame pieces are going to be going on this wall, and cutting them to size and putting them in here. Alright, so it is way chillier out here than it has been. The past few days really dropped down in temperature again. It's like just above freezing right now, but luckily I don't need super warm weather today for anything specific. I'm not like sealing anything or anything like that. At some point it would be nice to hook up the fan, or just put it up there, and that way it's in place and I don't have to worry about it anymore, conceal. But definitely not happening right at this moment because it is too cold. Okay, so trying to measure out, it's a little bit tough to completely visualize because these are so tall that I can't just slap them up there. So I think I might just take one, measure it, get it in there in a spot that I know it's gonna go. Like this one is definitely gonna go, up against this kind of edge here, going all the way down just straight. And then this one over here, it's a little bit more awkward because of the shape of the back of the van, so it's gonna be up against this corner. And then continue down. As you can see, going down in a straight line means it's no longer going to be, up against this as it gets further and further down. So I'm going to put one of those in, and then that way it'll be a little bit easier to kind of measure out from there. Just because I feel like I'm kind of like ballparking things right now, like trying to think like, okay, well, here's this piece of tape, but really you have to think that piece of tape is supposed to be 4 inches wide, and then the next piece is also supposed to be 4 inches, but where does the 4 inches begin or end? So I think it'll be easier just to get, at least one piece over here in, and maybe also do that one at that edge, because those two are definitely going there. And then it's just a matter of, do I want to put one straight in the middle like that, or do I want to put, 2 in there instead? So yeah, I have to figure that out. So I'm going to get the saw out, do some measuring, get the wood set up on the wood thing that I was cutting on before, wherever the hell that is. It's been a while since I've actually done any wood cutting. I have to find that. Yeah, also, just to see, I figured it wasn't going to work, but I tried hooking up that heater to the solar system here. But yeah, little electric heaters pull way too much power. This thing started like beeping like crazy. And I was like, I don't know exactly what that means, but I imagine it means something bad is happening. So, because that wasn't happening when I was charging my phone off of it. So, I just I disconnected and hooked it up with the extension cord like I normally do. So yeah, I don't know how big of an inverter and everything else that you would need to run an electric heater, but definitely more than 1,000 apparently for the inverter. All right, so I'm gonna get that area measured. I might start over here. It might be a little bit easier because I don't have to deal with any of that curve. And measure that out, and then sketch it on the wood and do a quick cut going across, and then probably as usual bring it in, see if it fits, take it back out. Only thing really weird about this one is that all the way at the bottom here, it's going to end up landing, make sure I'm pointing in the right direction here, it's going to come down, against this edge here where my finger is, and then there's this wheel well right here, so it's going to end up being a little bit awkward there. I'm going to cut around that. Whereas this side, I believe, is totally flat. So I might actually start with this weird end because I don't have to deal with really a weird cut. It's gonna be totally straight cut, but it's just gonna be awkward to measure. I don't know if I did something wrong with this sealant stuff that the ones that levels off by itself, but it was sticking to this, which I put on, what was that, like a week or more that I put this piece of styrofoam. I just put it down really just a couple days ago, I think. I don't think I even put a video of it. I just took that and figured that would help. Sorry. I figured that would help, temperature wise, having something underneath it on the cold floor for now. And it was like still trying to stick to it. I think it even like ripped a little bit off there. So I don't know how long that's supposed to stay sticky for, or if it's just always sticky. They didn't say anything about that in the instructions or anything, and I don't recall the other sealant being like that. So I don't know. Maybe I did something wrong with it. Maybe it's just too cold. I don't know. Okay, so I made the first cut. It's a little too big here. So I put it back into that edge there, and it gets stuck on that piece there. So I am going to give it another little chop and then come try it again. Alright, so this is that first one here in this corner. It's a really tight fit. I actually had to use hammer to kind of knock it completely over here towards the side. So I am going to go grab the drill, go find the screws, and I can screw that one in there. Although it's fitting in there pretty good right now, I might just do the other one over there get that one in place, and then basically just be able to measure. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't really matter. This is where this one's going, so I might as well just screw it in place, I guess. I honestly don't know how I'm gonna screw this though, because I didn't realize how drastic of like a curve was going on here. So my plan was to do a screw at the top, a screw, you know, somewhere down in this area. Obviously not where there's just a bunch of insulation, but somewhere it connects the metal near there. And then there's no way to hook anything up, you know, here and this, whereas this deep, where the kind of window area is. But then do another one here where it pops back out and at the bottom. However, there's some really big gaps there. I don't know if this is going to curve enough to do that. I'm going to have to see how much pressure I can put on this and make sure it doesn't crack. That's why I didn't go with anything super thick like a 2x4 or something, because that wouldn't bend at all. This at least has some bend to it. So maybe I can get it to, you know, hook up in those 4 spots there. Alright, so that's game plan. Going to see what I can do with the drill and make this actually hook up along the wall here, hopefully. Okay, so just to show you what I'm using here, I got, these are some of the only flat ones I could find that were the it doesn't say anything, self-tapping screws, I think is what they're called. And they're meant for metal. So I went with the 1-inch ones because the wood is supposed to be 3/4 inch, but you know how it's like actually a little bit smaller than that. So I figure 1 inch will give me enough to get through the wood and then enough to get into that metal, but not go outside the van. So that's what I'm theorizing, that's what I'm going with. So yeah, I'm going to, I guess I'll put one in the top, one in the bottom, and then attempt to probably do that one there, that zone, because that one's closer, and then try to really force in that one then, and get the 4th one in there to really make it stable all throughout and all that fun stuff. Alright, so I gotta plan out the exact spots where I'm putting these. Top one's gonna be easy. That whole space up there is good to go. This one I'm just gonna put somewhere, you know, along this edge. This one, same kind of thing along there. And the bottom one, I guess I can put kind of just somewhere along that line where that kind of part sticks out a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna put these in there and then I'll show you how it goes. Okay, so I put one in. It's hard to see now because I took the screw up, but it kind of split a nice crack in there. So I think I am gonna at least somewhat pre-drill the holes, because this wood I guess doesn't like that. And it went all the way through. You can try to film that. And it was sticking out the other side, but it didn't actually do anything to the metal there. So I'm gonna try this again, get this back up in their position, and yeah, I mean, I saw that it was cracking, but I just went with it anyway. And then I was like, all right, it's all the way in there, and I pulled it, and it just came right out of place. There's no mark, there's anything. So I mean, it's definitely enough to get through the wood, but it, like I said, it didn't do anything on that metal. So I don't know if there's too much of a gap there still. I'll have to look a little bit closer once I get that back in position, see if there's like a gap between that wood and the wall there. Okay, so now I'm a little bit pissed off. Now there's a huge crack in this. It went all the way in, and then it seems like the screw just isn't going into the metal. It's like pushing against the metal, making the wood come out further, rather than actually just going into the metal, which is kind of pissing me off because these are specifically for metal. And now all it's doing is just destroying this freaking wood that I bought. And so I am going to take this off, and I think I'm just going to try just put the screw in just in the metal. If hopefully there's like somewhat of a mark so I can see where it is, and just say fuck it and just put it right in there, take it back out, and then do this, because I don't feel like destroying all the wood that I bought because metal screws won't go through metal. I don't know why. So there was a little mark, and then I went and put the screw right back on that same spot and drilled and drilled and drilled, and basically all I got was I got through the paint. So I don't know what the hell kind of screws I'm supposed to be using, because these are supposed to be specifically for metal, and it's not doing anything. So I don't know, I'm a little bit pissed off to start the day here because I bought the right thing and it doesn't work, and it's just little by little destroying the wood that I bought. So I guess I'm just gonna keep trying. I'm putting all the pressure on it that I can. I'm going full speed with the drill. It's on like the top setting here for like power, but it's just not actually doing anything. I don't know what other screws I could use for this. I mean, I guess I could figure out what size bit to use and try to pre-drill, but that kind of defeats the whole purpose. I wanted the self-tapping one so I could it would go a lot faster and I wouldn't have to worry about that, but that might be what I have to do. So I had the wood up there and I was drilling with this bit and it didn't seem like anything was happening, so I moved out of the way, drilled some more, and I mean it's a bigger mark than it was before, but it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. I'm not sure if that area up there is more solid. I mean, down here is definitely hollow because there's insulation in there. I don't know if at some point the metal becomes thicker as it gets closer to the top there. I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do at this point. I definitely need a hole somewhere up here, and I don't want to just keep drilling in random places, just making a whole bunch of random marks for no reason. I really wish those screws just actually worked like they were supposed to work. I thought this was like, oh yeah, just slap this piece up there and then cut out another piece, slap it up there, turning into a much bigger project, simply because I can't get any holes in the wall. So I'm just going to keep, I guess I'm going to mess around with that hole a little bit more. If I still can't get it, I'm going to try going a little bit lower, closer to where that hole is, where I can see insulation, because there's clearly a spot there that I could, that should be hollow, and in theory I should be able to drill through. I don't know if this metal is just a lot thicker in general than the metal that was down here where I put holes in and then cut out for the window. I mean, it was definitely some work getting the holes in initially and cutting it, but this is, I'm just drilling and drilling and drilling, and it's just doing nothing. There's like no progress being made there at all. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying with that one, and then if it's not working, move on. And then if that still doesn't work out, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. I guess I'm gonna have to do some more research on how to effectively make holes. There's really nowhere else to hook things into. I mean, there's a couple random bolt holes right there, but there's not enough of those, and they're only in that one spot. They don't go all the way, up and down everywhere. And they're also in a weird position there. They're like recessed in on this, it goes down, so it'd be really hard to get the wood to go in there at that kind of weird angle. Alright, so I'm going to do some more drilling and see what happens. Okay, so I finally got that hole in there. I had my arms like fully extended up and just like leaning into it, putting all my weight into it. And just going and going and going. I was like, this is going nowhere, and then suddenly it gave in and I almost fell over because the way I was leaning against it. And yeah, so there is that hole. So I'm gonna get that wood back in place. Hopefully I can get it lined up exactly where it was, and then put that first screw in there. And then basically I'm just gonna try to do the self-tapping screw. Well, I'm gonna drill at least into the wood so it doesn't split, and then try to do the self-tapping screw along the other spots. If it doesn't work, then I'll take that screw out, and I guess I'll have to kind of drill in to make marks like I did for that one, and then drill those spots where the marks are. Alright, let's do it. Okay, so it's still not staying in place, even though the screw is sticking out and in theory should have just gone in there, and it's still trying to split the wood. So I am kind of pissed off right now. I don't know what I'm gonna do about this. Oh my god. I don't know, maybe I'll pick up longer screws. That way they reach further into that metal. It didn't seem like they had any other options as far as like something that looked like it would, get into the metal better. As far as, self-tapping. These are, I looked up online, these were the ones that were specifically self-tapping and had a flat spot. I didn't want them to be like, sticking way out, like the, the bolts, wherever the hell they are, how they stick out, because, the wall paneling, whatever the hell you want to call it, is going to go on top of this, so I don't want to be like a big bulge hanging out there. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of is I only wanted it, to be just big enough to get through the wood and then click, kind of sink into the metal and boom, that's it. Because I definitely don't want to risk any, thinner spots end up getting, going in too deep and hitting the outer wall. But this is just not working out. These aren't doing anything. This is turning to be much more of a pain in the ass than I expected it to be. I figured this part of the job would actually be pretty easy, just a matter of measuring and cutting and stuff, but no, it's this wood and these screws and the wall, nothing's just cooperating together. So I'm gonna have to figure out what the hell I'm gonna do here. Okay, so I looked up online some options, but before I head off to the store, I want to take this out. I'm gonna try to put it in without the wood being there and see if the issue is the screw too short or is the screw just not going in through the metal at all. So that's what I'm gonna try. If it's just too short, if it does go in the metal when I take away the wood, then I will get longer screws. If it is still having issues, then I will have to get I think they're called well nuts, and then get bolts and basically do it that way, which is just gonna be more of a pain in the ass, but whatever, I have to get something in there. So that's the game plan. Hopefully I just need longer screws. Okay, so it can't be pulled out. It can, kind of just spin in and out like a screw should. So I think I just need longer ones. So I'm going to make a run to Lowe's and get the exact same things, just in whatever size they have that's going to be bigger than this. I don't want to get anything too big and end up damaging the outer wall, but definitely something bigger than 1 inch. So I'm going to try to clean up some stuff in here so I can hit the road and go to Lowe's and grab the bigger screws. Okay, so I picked up these ones, so same size, number 8, same exact style. Only difference is these are 1 inch, these are 1.5. I put that one up there and it is in place. I'm pulling on it and it seems to be really holding it. Obviously that split is still there. Can't really do anything about that other than, I don't know, maybe put some wood putty over it or something, but this whole thing's gonna be covered over anyway, so whatever, not worried about it. So now I have to try to put 3 more of these screws in here. Hopefully it goes a lot faster than the amount of time it took me to put that first one in. Okay, so working on getting screw number 2 in here. This wood is kind of stuck on the I don't know, the bottom stuff here, the sealant that I put in, along with just everything else in the corner here, and so I'm trying to kind of measure out, eyeball how well it's gonna fit. There's not a whole lot of wiggle room. It seems like if I go in right here, it's barely gonna be getting into that metal. So I'm thinking I might go down super low here and go into this kind of whatever the hell this part is. Probably not coming up too super well, being in the shadow here in the video, but this part that sticks out a little bit further, so that way it should give me a little bit more wiggle room, trying to get it in there and really secure it. Okay, so I pre-drilled out the hole in there's so much glare on the screen right now, I can't even tell if I'm looking at the right thing, but somewhere down here there's a hole that I pre-drilled over there. I was hoping to be able to just leave the wood up and drill straight through and then put the screw in, but it was just giving me a really hard time. So I decided to take this off, make sure I'm just drilling in the same spot each time, and not when I take out the drill and then put it back in, it's going to a slightly different spot or anything. So far it looks good. I'm gonna drill just like this now, since it's out of the way anyway, and then once I have that hole in there, I will put the top screw back in and then put the screw in this one. Okay, so tragedy has struck. I was trying to drill that out, and it's a very awkward angle. I have to hold it upside down like this, because if I go in sideways, the kind of battery pack is smacking against that. So I was going upside down, and I guess I must just went in at just not the right angle, or tried to put too much pressure on it to get through the metal, and snapped the bit. And that was the only bit I had for that specific size, and that's the size I need to use for these screws. All that I have left is this little nub. So, God damn it. I don't want to say it, but I think I'm gonna have to go back to Lowe's. I was just there. Oh my god. Alright, well, I'm gonna see if I can use this nub at all. All I need to do now is just get through that bit right there, see if I can at least do that, and then that way I can get the wood in place with those 2 screws. But I mean, there's no way I can make it work with just this all day. I have to be able to screw, drill through the wood and then into the metal, and this is way too short for that. I don't even know if it's gonna be able to do anything for the that bit of metal I have to go through still. God damn. Alright, so it didn't work at all with that little stub that's still left on there. It just tried to go around and mess up all that sealant stuff that's on there. So I am gonna have to go back to Lowe's again to pick up a, what the hell is this, 9/64 or some shit, and then come back here and do it again. Alright, back here after my second run to Lowe's for the day. I got new 9/64 bits. I literally just grabbed all of them off the shelf. I think I got like 6 or 7 of them. So I'm gonna try to get this hole done again. I think the ones at the bottom are gonna be the biggest pain for all these, so that's why I grabbed so many, just in case more break, because it's just such an awkward angle trying to go in like upside down and trying to put all that pressure on it to get it through, but not to snap the bit. I can't tell if this is like on some weird filter. Everything looks like all foggy on here. I don't know. Maybe that's just my screen's dirty or something, but anyway, I'm gonna try this again and hopefully it doesn't break. So I got it through. Again, my screen looks all weird, so I can't even tell what the hell I'm looking at. But I got it through, and now it's kind of stuck in there. So I have to try to figure out how I'm getting this back out of there. It was a little bit tricky getting in because I think the silicone stuff, how I was saying, it's all sticky still. It was like the bit would kind of get stuck, stop spinning, and the drill would keep trying to spin. But I got through, so there is a hole there. I just now need to remove the drill that's taking up the hole. Okay, and just like that, we got one there and one up there. So it's only taken like half the day, but I have 2 screws in the wall. Alright, so time to figure out how I'm going to get these last 2. Oddly enough, I feel like these are going to be most challenging, which is not good news considering how long it's taken me to get the 2 not challenging ones, apparently. So yeah, I am now going to attempt to do, I guess, the one up there first, since that piece, the wood, is a little bit closer to that part of the metal. The lighting, I don't know if it's the lighting or if I screwed up something on the settings, but everything looks so weird on here. And then I'm going to try to do one down here then. Okay, so that one, I still feel like there's something got to be wrong with like the video settings or something on this phone. But the hole went in here pretty easy, and then I got one behind it that went through pretty easy as well. This must be like a little bit thinner. So now comes the tricky part of attempting to get that screw to go through here and go and connect with the metal on the back there. Okay, so man, again, this lighting, I just can't see like anything that's going on here, but it's in there and it's connected through there. There is a gap, but the screw is connected and it isn't popping out of there or anything. So yeah, so I got 3 out of 4 so far. Now it's time for the last one here. Okay, so we have all 4 in there. I hope this video comes out good. I don't know what is going on, but everything is just a blurry mess as far as my screen goes today. I'm gonna try to just like restart the phone or something. Yeah, so vaguely you can maybe see, probably not at all. There's one at the top. There's one, I can't even see that on the screen. I still can't see anything on the screen. And there's one down there somewhere that I also can't see. All right, let me do a restart here and see if this gets better. Okay, so I cut that piece. This is the one that's gonna have that really awkward kind of shape going on here. I mean, I'm sure anything that's going across the wheel well is gonna be awkward, but this one's gotta be kind of part flat and then part going up the wheel well. And this let them fall down. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna have to take it out there and basically just gonna kind of eyeball it and cut it little by little, just like I did with some of the floor pieces, until I can get it to the right height and shape so it'll actually fit in there. Okay, so I got this all chopped up into into crazy shapes, top and bottom. Top fits right in there. But the bottom is having an issue now where I didn't realize it was behind that tape that I had on there. There's that bolt sticking out of there. So it's making it tough for this to sit flat, along with all the other issues down here. And then for some reason, I don't know if it's the shape of the van or if the wood is like bowed. But it's gonna have some intense, definitely gonna have to be pulled way in there for that part. This one's not too bad actually. Up here shouldn't be terrible, and the top is fine, but the bottom is going to be getting, tried to pull in somewhat, but that bolt is going to be kind of in the way. So that's what we are working with here. Unfortunately, I chopped this one down enough to where it just wants to fall out, doesn't stay stuck in there like that one. So it's going to be a little bit tougher to get the holes going in here. So I'm going to rest that somewhere where it won't fall down, hopefully, and grab the drill and start making the holes on this one. Okay, so screw number one is in. Seemed a lot easier on this compared to over in the corner at that top one. I'm almost wondering if these would work now that I'm working on this thinner, so that actually seems a lot easier to go through, if I would be able to just drill right in. But I want to have at least the wood drilled anyway, so it's not splitting like that piece did at the top. So I'm gonna keep drilling anyway. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep on going down line here. I'm gonna hit the bottom next. I guess, I don't know, maybe I should do this one. That one seems like easier. I don't know, I'll figure it out. I'm gonna do some more screws. Okay, so top one, and now I decided to do that one. I figured just in case as I go down it ends up kind of pushing this in, if it affects like the length at all, I figure in case it can't like fit there anymore properly, or it's like being pushed out, I could always take everything down, slice off another little bit, and then put those three back up, and then do that last one. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I don't know why exactly the wood looks like this. I don't know if it's the wood is straight and the wall is just that curved, or if this is bowing out somewhat. But I'm going to find out, I guess. So I'm going to do number 3 now, down that zone, and we will see how that affects the piece at the bottom there, if that does anything there. Alright, so I got number 3 in there. That one was really tough to get trying to push that wood back enough to get the screw to connect. But it's in there. The bottom still looks fine, looks just the same as it was, so I'm going to put the hole in there and do that last one. Hopefully it goes in just as easy as these 3 have, because this one has been a hell of a lot easier than that first board was. Okay, so this bit here, I swear this video is so screwed up looking today, but this bit is obviously thicker. It's got a lot more going on here because it's this wheel well kind of connecting with the wall. So I'm just trying to figure out where I can estimate that being, because I think that's going to be way harder to get through as compared to just the regular wall bits here. Obviously I want to get it down as low as I can, because this is the screw going in at the bottom, but I don't want to be stuck trying to screw through multiple layers of metal like that piece right there. So I'm going to kind of just eyeball it and figure out where most likely that metal continues on to, because the only other option would be to take out all those screws up there and then you know, look at it, and even then I would just be estimating basically once I put the wood back up here. So, all right, I think I'm gonna go somewhere. If you look at it here, that's probably going down, so I'll go like somewhere up here. Okay, so that piece is fully in there now. That last one went in real easy, so I guess I estimated the right zone to where I didn't end up having to screw into the part of that wheel well. So that's all good. So now I just need to figure out where I want to place either just the other one or the other two beams that are be going over here, or you know, studs, frame, whatever the hell they're called. Okay, so I marked out where I want those two other pieces to go. So they're about 14 inches there, 14 inches there, 14 inches there, going in between each of those different pieces of wood. Although actually, that end up being different because that tape is obviously not 4 inches wide. So I'm trying to think. That'll still be okay, I think. I don't know. Maybe I'll adjust it a tiny bit. Anyway, so what I need to figure out, obviously they're going to start down there at the lowest point that they go to. But I need to figure out how high are they going to go. Do I want them to end right here where they're going to be attached? Or do I want to attach them here and have them keep going up to kind of the edge of this window? I think I'm going to end up needing them to go all the way up to that edge in order to do like the wall stuff properly, even if they're not really attached to anything up there. So I think I'm going to do that. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to just remeasure this distance again and put up, I have those two pieces from chopping off those. So I'm going to put them up there and see how it looks, see if it looks even. And then I will, measure them, figure out what size they need to be, and do any adjustment cutting they need to be done. And then get those two in there. And then obviously I'm going to have to do same kind of thing up here. I'm going to need to measure out. I'm going to want them to be kind of right in line with these. They don't have to be perfect, but something close. And attach to going up here. Okay, so here is piece number one. So I measured up to where it would be right up there. I swear, you guys aren't going to be able to see anything in this video. This lighting is just terrible. I think it might be time to get like a real camera instead of using this old phone. But yeah, so here it is. So I have it slightly pulled out here so it wouldn't fall down, but I push it up against there. You can see kind of that it goes up to the point where it will be kind of right up to this ledge that you can't see. And then that way there will be a gap here, but I can take small piece of wood, like maybe like just a 1/4 inch or something, thickness, and just fill in going from this piece of wood over to the window, and then that way we'll create like a window ledge basically. So yeah, so that's the game plan. I'm going to attach it somewhere near the top, or maybe I'll start at the bottom. I don't know. Bottom, again, I have to worry about that wheel well, so it's going to be a little bit up from the bottom where I'm going to be putting the hole in. And then up here, really just anywhere there's tons of space here, and there's no gaps behind it where there's just open insulation or anything, so I can just drill anywhere up there. And like I said earlier, nothing's going to be drilled up here yet. That's just going to be left like an open gap there like that. Alright, so I'm going to grab that drill and put some holes in this thing. Okay, so that first miniature beam there is in. Got the screw near the top part, but not the top part, and at the bottom. So now I'm just going to measure that one where that tape is going up and down. I think that was going to have to be a little bit longer maybe, depending on how far over it is. So I'll measure that, and I'm going to once again use that leftover piece over there, and just going to do the same thing, just put in the one all the way near the bottom, just not in the wheel well part, and then towards the top, where it extends out here, and then just leave the very top part alone, and then it'll be time to do these pieces up here. Alright, so both of those bottom half pieces are in there. Nothing too crazy difficult about those. They were pretty easy, just measured and drilled and put the screws in. So now I'm going to do the same kind of thing up here. I'm going to measure. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep them in line with these. It's not like crazy important that they're in line, but the closer they are, I guess the easier it is to kind of plan stuff out as far as how different pieces connecting, forming the wall, and all that kind of stuff. So, gonna try to make it somewhat even, and then I will, measure that out. Take one of these big pieces out and chop that up to make those two pieces, and then drill and screw those in. So first step is figuring out exactly where they're gonna line up here. Okay, so this one is pretty easy, kind of lines up right there, so I'll put screw in there, and then I didn't actually look up here before I did this. This part is going to be a little bit more of a pain. I guess I'm just having to go up to here, just hit it and then stop, and then just kind of screw it in at an angle on this piece, so that's a little bit weird. This one seems like it should be easy up at the top, just nice and flat going down, but then right here where I would normally screw it along here, there's all this insulation here, so there's nothing to actually screw into, so I'll just screw it in up here rather than trying to go down here and do something crazy. So that's the game plan. So something awkward here and something awkward up there, but they'll line up, and it'll look kind of nice, even though once the walls are up it won't be visible anyway. So yeah, I am gonna take that, first I gotta measure this, and then I'll take the wood out there and cut it. Okay, so got this first one in here. If any of these end up being hanging down too low here or too high here, I'll just come through and either with the jigsaw just take a slice off, or if it's only a tiny bit, just use a sander or something. So that's the game plan there, in case you were wondering, because this one actually might be a hair on the low side, considering that I have to also add some paper wood going along this, just like I'm doing on the bottom, so it might end up being just a little bit too long, but for right now it's all in there, it's good, and I'm going to cut out this one now. Alright, okay, so I think I showed that all these are in here already, but I just went and did a measurement and figure out how high I want this seat to be. This camera is just terrible today, I don't know what's going on, but so I made some marking there. That's like 15 inches up from the floor, so you can see it doesn't give a whole lot extra space to be adding things like above the batteries, so I'm not even going to really worry about putting down any type of plywood or anything down there right now and start hooking things up to it, because there's not really any space to do it along this wall anyway. I'm going to move that battery back over there, and yeah, I'm not going to really be able to hook anything up, I think, until I get the overall like seat area put in, and then I can put things either on the floor or up against the kind of wall of the seat. So yeah, so that is the game plan there. Batteries are going to sit in that corner, and then the wheel well takes up all that space, and then everything else is going to be hooked up either just right on the floor or against the inside of the seat. So I'm thinking the next most logical thing to do might be actually to jump into doing that fan while it's still light out and everything, just because that's like a big thing that's just kind of in the way right now. Once I get that out of the way, also that music stand that's just on top of there for no reason, once I get that stuff out of the way, it'll allow me to really clear out this area to then also start working on this wall framing stuff. And then I think once I have the fan in, and maybe once I deal with however much framing I can get done with these two big pieces that are here, along with the whatever leftover bit is out there, then I might go ahead, and whether that's today, probably tomorrow, I don't know how long it's going to take to deal with this fan, but then I will go ahead and go over to Lowe's and get the wood that I'll need to actually start mapping out this area. I think I'm going to do like 4x4s in the corners, and then whatever type of wood just going around it. I do think I want to do more like strips of wood, kind of like, like these pieces rather than just big pieces going across the bottom of the seat, along with the stuff like on the front of the cabinets and everything like that. Just that way it helps circulate the air and keep the moisture out, so you're not getting mold inside of your cabinets or under the seats or anything like that. So that's I would need the 4x4s to be basically like the posts at all the corners, and then just measure the length and figure out how long I need the whatever types of maybe I'll get similar kind of stuff like this, or maybe something a little bit different, I don't know. And yeah, so I'm gonna break open that fan, clear all that chunk off of it, and then I think I want to try to real quick do a test hookup to the battery, and just to check on the that everything works and all that. I ended up getting a second one of these. The first one I got the box was like super damaged from the shipping, and so I was like, you know what, I can't even test this out because it was like way before I had the solar hooked up, obviously. So I ended up shipping it back saying like I can't test this until who knows how long, until I have this hooked up, because I don't have any other 12 volt something to plug it into. So so now this one came and it wasn't damaged, so I still want to just check it out before I officially put a giant hole up here, realize it doesn't work, and then have to take everything apart, ship it back, and be stuck with a giant hole up here while I wait for another one. So yeah, so like I said, I'm gonna clear that out, get the fan over here, figure out how to just real quick hook it up and check it out, make sure it works, and then I will be getting that ladder also cleared off so I can get on the roof. Okay, so I plugged that in to the battery here. I don't know why they did the wires like this. They made positive black and then negative white, but I mean positive I feel like they should have made red, and they should have made this one black or white, but still this I feel like should be red. But anyway, I just gently kind of put them on each of those parts where they belonged, and it beeped and I could turn it on or off. I didn't try to open it or close it or anything. It's like upside down here and everything, but yeah, so it seems like it works at least enough to turn on and start spinning around anyway. To figure out if the rest of the features work, I'm gonna have to just wait until it's actually like in a better position. So yeah, going back around here. So the first step is to make a 14x14 template to put in that piece over there. So this is just a chunk out of that box. So I'm gonna measure this and cut it down to size, and then that goes up there, wherever the hell I picked to put it last time. I think it was all the way in the back, and I can kind of make a marking out there and put a hole in, and then go on the roof and see where that hole is. Okay, so this is more or less a 14x14 square. Definitely not perfect, but it's pretty close. So I am gonna see how it looks with that thing on it. Yeah, and then I guess it's time to start getting up there and figuring out where exactly it's going. Okay, so I have the template taped up here. It is in, try to get back here, with the center of the very back area, behind this last bar here. So I am going to be having to cut through this kind of like doubled up metal here, as well as some of this doubled up metal here, but I don't have to cut through this thing itself, which is good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put a couple holes in here. I'm also going to get a marker pen, something, whatever I can find, and basically write like this is where the front was, this is towards the back, this is on the left side and the right side, depending on which way you're facing. And then that way when I get up there, I know I just put this face down with all those directions going in the right spot, and the hole should match up, and then I can just trace it right on up there, no problem. Yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do. Gonna grab something to write with, and then grab the drill and put some holes in. Okay, so those 4 holes are in there. I got this up on top of the roof now, obviously, and just showing you where it's going to be. I was kind of hoping it was going to line up to be on this side of this dip and all that's happening here, but that is not how it ended up, and now I'm already kind of stuck with where it's going to be. So I am going to be cutting through all this awkward stuff here, and it's going to make it a little bit harder to seal because that dip, but it's still sealable. It's not a problem. So I'm going to make sure these are all lined up nicely, and then put the tape now down on this side to hold it down, and I have to go find wherever the hell that marker is and trace it out just like I did for the windows when I did that. Okay, so did the tracing. I'm going to grab the drill because I remember last time I had to widen up the holes, I think, before the jigsaw would actually fit into the holes. I'll probably also put the holes closer to the edges, like at the corners or somewhere, rather than kind of being more in the middle. So yeah, I'm gonna get the drill, and then it'll be time to cut this square on out of here. Okay, so I got through the first layer of metal there. You can see this is where it's now lined up with that other piece that goes along with it. But now my drill is somewhat dying, although now it's not doing it. There we go. So it's doing that thing where every so often it doesn't actually drill. So I'm gonna need to have this charged for a little bit. I don't know. In the meantime, maybe I'll do some cleaning up and organizing the van or something. I don't know. But yeah, this definitely has to charge, and I can't do any jigsawing until I do a lot more drilling. So nothing I can do about it right now. Just gotta wait for it to charge. Alright, so it's charged up at least enough to put in the 4 holes at the corners, and I made this one wider so I can fit the bit in there. So I'm gonna plug it in and start working on cutting. Okay, so I got most of it cut, but that stainless steel is holding it on the other side. So it's not flip-flopping around. So I cut too much inside of that line. Now this doesn't quite fit, so I gotta make the hole a little bit bigger. Alright, it is in there, so now I gotta look up, see what the hell the next step is, and then do that. Alright, so I did the sanding and the usual primer stuff, so I have to let that sit, and then I will move on to whatever the next step is. Okay, so now it's time to put down this, what's called butyl tape, which just looks like really fucking weird paper rolled up. So I'm gonna just cover all the edges, and then any of the low spots, might put like an extra layer on top to try to even it out. So let's see what happens. Okay, so no instructions came with this. I just laid it down like tape and cut it. But this paper stuff is just like really stuck to this putty, what they call butyl tape, but to me it seems like putty. And it is just a huge pain to try to get off of here. There's one piece. So I'm trying to figure out, maybe going from the side is the trick, seems to be going easier that way. But it's definitely a lot more of a pain in the ass than that 3M tape stuff, but I'm gonna keep working with it. Okay, so what I did was I put one strip going all the way around. This bit back here along this edge was higher, so I did the extra strips along these 2 parts, as well as then doing an extra strip going all the way around these 3 sides to help level out with this side. Okay, so I think the next step is putting holes in here. I threw that battery back on the charger to make sure I have charge to be able to do that. So I have to figure out what kind of bit I need and go grab the screws, grab the battery for it, all that fun stuff, and then I'll be back up here. Okay, so it comes with all these. The instructions don't differentiate between the screws, and I'm not even sure what these blue things are. So I think I'm going to be using the ones with the rounder heads, and then the flatter white ones, maybe those are the ones that go inside. So I'm going to figure out what matches up best with that, and go around and pre-drill and then screw those in, and then I'm going to figure out how the hell I get that to actually stick onto here and not fly off. Okay, so they're all in there. I haven't like tightened them all up yet. This thing is like on the verge of death again, so I gotta throw it on the charger, and then I will, meanwhile, while it's charging, look up to see exactly what the next step is for the fan and everything else after I get these tightened. Alright, so I'm gonna throw that in charger and then start doing some research. Okay, so basically figured out what I have to do. I got this opened up by spinning that thing, and then the idea is you line up these holes with these metal things, which are somewhat adjustable. You can kind of push them down and pop them up a little bit. So the thing is, there's 4 screws. I wasn't paying attention when I was putting the other ones in. I have 3 little ones and 1 big one. So something on here does not belong here, and I need to take it out and replace it. So I gotta figure out which one the little one is. Alright, so that was charged up enough to get out. It was this one was the little one. And then I went around, tightened everything up since everything was all good. So I'm gonna do the sealant stuff. Just go crazy all over the screws, along the edges, all that. If this ends up running out, I got another one in the van, a new one. And then after that, it'll be time to put the fan on top and put these little screws in there. All right, let's do it. Okay, so I covered all the edges and also the screws. Probably did some overkill on some of these screws, but whatever, they're covered. Everything's obviously super wet still because I just put it on there, but I'm trying to try to carefully put that on top of here without getting sealant everywhere, so I can put the screws in, and then that way, should there be any moisture tonight, there's no rain or anything going inside the van. So I like to get at least that far. Okay, so those screws are all in there. It was tougher to get it on this time. I think when I put more, pressure on these screws, really screwed them in there, it kind of made the inside part there kind of go outwards as it kind of pushed down pressure more over here. So it was a little bit more of a struggle to get on there. And then for the actual screws, the holes don't line up really like perfectly. You kind of have to give it a little bit of pressure, pushing it down. So what I did was I got the front ones were the easiest. So I got like the tip of the front one in at like an angle, and then as I tightened it in, kind of brought it down into place. And then I did the back one, same kind of thing. So yeah, I'm gonna check to see what else I'm supposed to be doing right now. I don't have any extra wire that's gonna be, allow me to hook this up right now, because I don't think the wires in here are nearly long enough to reach to my battery. Yeah, it was just a lot of work trying to push this down while I was screwing. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of review the instructions, see if I'm supposed to be doing anything else specifically right now. I'm gonna go in, and I guess I'll just close this up since it's not gonna be running right now or anything, and see if I need to do anything on the inside or anything like that. Okay, so this light is kind of messing this video up. But here it is. I closed it all up, and these are the wires. So like I said, nowhere near long enough to reach to the batteries over there. But that's okay. Tomorrow when I go pick up wood for this stuff, I'm gonna also grab a bunch of wire stuff, so that way on Monday that little fuse panel thing and a bunch of other stuff are supposed to come in, so I'll have wiring to start working on all that stuff as well. So yeah, so this is kind of just done for the night. So nothing else really to do. Just gonna let that stuff dry. I'll probably have to touch it up tomorrow or sometime and fill in any low gaps, but it is all good. So I'm gonna get cleaned up and get out of here. Okay, so it is Sunday. First project is me getting the ladder back out, checking the sealant up on top, see if I need to touch it up at all. And the next thing, I don't know how I didn't think of this when I was doing this, but I need to have something here to be able to attach like the part of the wall to there, leading to right up to the edge of the window, because otherwise I'm basically going to have wood just hanging from here and attached to absolutely nothing, because it can't just extend to here obviously, because they'll be blocking the window. So I'm going to have a piece of wood basically going from just somewhere in this area to, just here. Doesn't need to extend all the way from top to bottom. And then same thing kind of this side, although this one's pretty close already. I don't think I can really add a whole lot there. So that one I might just kind of leave alone. I don't think I can really. I think if I add another 4 inches of wood there, it will be blocking that window. So that one I might just have little kind of like nubs of wood sticking off. But over here I definitely need to put something, because otherwise it's going to be this
loose wood that will kind of move around a little bit. That's not good. So yes, that's the game plan to start off today, is checking the sealant up there, and then working on that wood right there. It is Easter today, so obviously there's some family stuff to do, but depending on how much time I have today, also want to take this wood and start working on however much I can get done over here with the amount of wood I have. So probably like one piece there, and then another piece somewhere down in this zone, and then maybe do, if I have enough, do the top and bottom pieces or something. Yeah, and then like I said, the next step would be going to pick up the wood I need to make out this section, as well as the wiring that I'm going to end up needing when I pick up all that stuff tomorrow from the mail, to be able to actually hook up the fan, as well as starting to hook up anything else, just running wires for outlets and things like that. So alright, so that is the game plan. Gotta get this ladder out there, and I guess I'll go up there just to look at it first, see if I even need to get the sealant out, and then if I do, I'll go up there and touch it up. Alright, so here we are. Just took off the plastic stuff that was on top. Forgot about that. But there are a couple little gaps here. I also have to go inside and pop this up so I can check the other side. This part sticks out too far for me to really see what's happening under there. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm not really looking at the camera. So I'm gonna go inside, open this up, and I will also grab the sealant, come up here and touch up those little spots. Alright, so I touched up those little spots here. There's also one spot on this side. Everything else looks good. I got it opened up here. So I checked the other side, everything looked good. So this is all good to go. So I'm gonna put this away so it doesn't make a mess, and then head inside and start working on that one piece that I need to put there of wood by the window. Alright, let's do it. So this is the piece I cut. I did 30 inches. So it's gonna go from somewhere up in that area down there. So the thing I have to be really careful about with this one is making sure I get it as close to being lined up with the edge of that window there without going too far over as I can. It's okay if it's a little bit off this way to the left by a little, because I can always have a little bit of like an overhang, kind of like what I'm going to do on the other side. So I'm gonna obviously have to put the phone down, and I'm going to try to use some type of like straight edge to make sure that, because right here I'm just like eyeballing it. I don't really know, for sure. But if I have something I can kind of put along, it's hard to do this with holding the camera, but if I have something to put along this edge, going from this edge towards the wall, I'll make sure that it's lined up here and not here. So yeah, I'm gonna do that, figure out exactly where it's supposed to go. It's gonna be a little bit of a pain to get it screwed in here because it's just kind of floating here. I don't have anything to specifically put up against like the ceiling or the floor. I'm just gonna kind of hold it there the best I can and drill the first hole into it. I gotta remember what size bit I'm supposed to be using here. Alright, so I got that random board there by the window. Pretty quick and easy. All these went in pretty quick and easy besides that very first one that had some issues. So I'm not sure how this corner one's going to go, if that's also going to be an issue. I'm also not sure entirely how I'm planning on doing it, because I just realized that this giant wires right here, this cable thing. This one I might just end up doing just starting below that, because then everything's clear. That cable stays like out of the way. It's off in the corner there. But yeah, I don't know how I would really go around that with a solid piece of wood. So I'm just gonna not go all the way to the very top with it, I guess. Whatever. That one doesn't go all the way to the top either because there's a weird thing sticking out. So whatever, no big deal. So yeah, let's see, what am I gonna do next now? Guess I might as well start in my corner, because this side is all done as far as the framing goes. Yeah. Alright, so I am gonna do some measuring over here, and
I thought so far they've all been easy other than the one in that corner, so we'll see how this one goes, if this one's going to be easy as the other ones have been, or if this one's also going to give me a bunch of trouble. Alright, I'm going to get the tape measure wherever I left it, I think it's outside, and then start measuring and cutting. Okay, so here's this piece. I decided to cut it a bit shorter even than this part here, so that way it can fit, really just slide over and be a little bit more over towards the corner on this side than like this one was, because this one goes all the way to the top where it gets, you know, the most angled over, so there's a larger gap over here, whereas over here there's a smaller gap now. That will make things a little bit more awkward over here. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. Didn't really completely think about that as I was doing it, but if I had it over here closer to that window, there's really nothing to hook it to. That cable's in the way, and then there's just a bunch of insulation going all throughout here. So I figured might as well just put it all the way over here, and then I'll just figure out what I'm doing for that part of the wall later on. I can always just add a piece there. There's enough space here where I can just add, you know, something going along there. Or, I don't know, I'll figure it out. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just drill the top one and put in a screw. Hopefully it goes in pretty easy. That was the big problem one for this one, was the top was really tough and the bottom was also pretty tough. So we'll see how this one goes as far as the top. I think this one's going to be a little bit easier because it's not at the very top. It's down here where there is, you know, a gap where there's insulation and stuff. So I think that should be easy. And the bottom, we'll just have to see, because once again we're going to be going through the kind of sealant stuff that I put on there, plus the stuff that they had on there, which is all sticky and not fun to deal with. So we'll see how well that one goes. Okay, so screw one is in. That one went in nice and easy like most of the rest of them. So that's good. One thing that's kind of tricky here is trying to figure out if it's truly straight or not. You can't use a level because the van may or may not be parked on level ground. It's definitely not parked on level ground right now. So you can't do that. And trying to compare it to like the wall, like here this is all curved, so you can't really just look at that and be like, oh, it matches up. You know, it's the same distance going from the bottom to the top. So you kind of just have to eyeball it. So that's what I went with. I think it looks pretty straight. That's something just to keep in mind as you're doing this, is that things might end up being slightly crooked and there's not a whole lot you can do about it, because you can't use all the conventional tools that you might use when you're building like a house, because you're not guaranteed to be on perfectly level ground. I mean, most of the time you're pretty much not going to be on level ground. So yeah, so I'm going to put in wherever. I guess maybe I'll go down the bottom, see if that one's going to be a pain in the ass or not. And then I'll do that one there, and then do that one there, and that piece will be in there. Okay, so I don't know if this is just like a way stronger bit than the last one that I had, or if I'm just getting better at doing this after putting in so many of these pieces of wood so far, or if this side of the van is like significantly different than the other side. But that hole went right in, so now I'm going to put in the screw. So yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this one in some ways, because it'll just randomly stop spinning along with the drill, which is really weird, and then it'll just start spinning again. So I don't know if it's like too smooth and it doesn't like connect to the things that hold in there right or something, but it's definitely holding up. Like I said, I bought I think like 7 of these because I was expecting to just keep breaking them over and over and over, and this is still the first one, so I just have a ton of 9/64 bits for apparently no reason. So yeah, I don't remember the brand. I might have showed it in the video at some point earlier. But yeah, it's on the packaging it said it was like good for using on steel, metal kind of stuff. So that's why I got it, and it definitely seems to be holding up better than the last one I had. That was just in, you know, some big, not a big pack, but a pack of, you know, all the different common sizes. So I'm happy with that. That hasn't broken yet. However, now I feel kind of like, why do I have so many of those bits? I don't need them all. Alright, so I'm going to put the screw in that one, and then just do the last 2 here, and this piece will be done. This one so far has, anyway, hopefully I don't jinx myself, but so far has been really easy, especially compared to the corner piece on the other side. Alright, so that piece is fully in there.
No real issues. Went in pretty easy.
So now I'm gonna figure out where I'm putting the next piece.
Probably put one somewhere over in this zone, and then I'll fill in the gaps here just like I did with that one with those pieces that are cut out around the window.
Alright, so I'm gonna do measuring and all that fun stuff. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put it right here, basically at the edge of this wheel well going up.
Once again, I'm going to be dealing with this thing, so I'm going to be cutting it a little bit short, which kind of sucks that I'm going to have to do that thing throughout this whole side here because that cable crap, but there's really no other way of going about it. So yeah, works out to be like 70 inches, and this stuff is still a tiny bit sticky somehow. I mean, it doesn't really feel all that sticky to the touch to like my hand, but when I put this down here, I had the, this part at the bottom here, and I pulled it up obviously, but this part was like sticking on this stuff again, and you can see how much is just built up on there from getting stuck and stuff all over the place, which is just crazy.
So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and take the last full-size board I have out there and measure and cut that one and bring it on in here, and we'll get that put right here. I figure that way it's kind of like nice and stable, having it being off of the wheel well. I don't know why. I mean, it's all being screwed into the wall, but I don't know. That's just how I feel having one that goes from all the way from floor to almost ceiling. But obviously, with that thing being there, can't quite hit the ceiling. All right, so I'm gonna go take that board out there. All right, so 1 and 2 are in there on this side. I have to see how much I can really do with the remaining wood. These two pieces are really too small for doing anything like, connecting the bottom up to the window, or from the top to the window or anything like that. I have this piece, and I have this piece. Don't know. I might be able to do something with this piece as well. So I'm gonna see how far I can get with those before I basically just run out of wood and can't do anything else. I also have to check the hours for Lowe's. I would imagine they're open. I don't know if they have like shorter hours today because of Easter. All right, let's do some measuring and see what I can do. Okay, so this piece is basically an exact fit of what I would want for putting up against here by where the window is. Kind of like what I did over there. That electrical tape did not hold for even those cables up there. But yeah, so I'm not even gonna bother cutting it because I mean at most I would cut off like an inch or two. So I'm just gonna go ahead and figure out exactly where this belongs over here, just like I did the other one, making sure it's straight and up close to the window there, and then do my usual drill up here and put in the screw, and then drill down there and put in the screw, and that piece will be in there, which is nice because I don't even have to really do a whole lot for it. It's already the right size. Okay, I can't remember if I filmed this, but that's in there, that piece. And now I just marked out, I measured from the edge of this one going to the edge of that one. And it was like 48 inches, so I divided by 3 because that's how many spaces are going to be there basically, to figure out where to place these two evenly. So I have one there, and then this one. I didn't measure from there to there because this one doesn't go all the way up and down. So I wanted it to be even based on those two. Just like when I did this, I made it so it was based on that one and that one, because that one wasn't even in until just today. So this one is pretty close to that one, which will probably look a little bit awkward for right now until the walls are up. But this is only covering this middle zone here for the purpose of connecting this to here, and keeping all that wood stable. And then these pieces like here and the piece that's going to go up here to match it aren't going to be covering the middle. They're going to be covering that. So it makes sense to me. I don't know. It's definitely going to look uneven. Kind of like over here, how it looks like there's a crowd of wood over here and then it's much less over here. But that's just because of how it's placed, where that one is close enough to kind of support that wood there, whereas that one's too far away, so I needed an extra one there. Same thing here. If we're going based on, you know, the window right there, you know, the very edge of the glass, I don't think I could even fit another 4-incher right in there without blocking out some of it. So I'm going to do the same thing I'm doing on the other side, where I'm just going to have the wood just hang over, and it's going to be really short hangover, so I don't see it, you know, having any issues there. Okay, so I have to measure out those pieces and figure out how much I can actually get done here. I don't know if I'm going to have enough to get the bottoms here done and the top, or if I'm going to end up being a little bit short and end up having, you know, some stubs left over and just being able to do the bottom, but we'll see how far I get. Okay, so back after a long break for Easter lunch stuff. So I got the saw back out there and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and measure those 2 spots there, and then take a piece of wood out there, see if I can get both those pieces out of one, or if not, then I'll use the other one. Alright, time to do some measuring. Alright, so I'm surprised this hasn't happened yet. It's the first time. So I had the wood up here, and I went to put the hole in. I was like, wow, that hole went really easy through that metal. I moved it, and I noticed a small hole in the tape, and then I realized it's like one of these holes right there. So now the hole's already in the wood, so I don't know, I guess I'm gonna have to figure something out. I guess I'm gonna make another hole, or slightly move the wood over one direction or another. Yeah, that was covered up by the tape, so I had no idea that was really back there. Alright, time to adjust something here. Okay, got another one in there. So now, got this last piece, last big one. I'm gonna go cut that one and get that one put in there. Okay, so that is in there. So that is basically everything I can do as far as the framing until I get more of that same wood, because these pieces are too small to do anything with. And this is for the actual, like, covering up the walls itself, which I'm not gonna start doing until I get all that wiring run through everything, because otherwise that's just gonna make it a pain in the ass trying to like chuck a wire behind a whole wall or something. Yeah, so that is everything there. This side, I'm gonna check Lowe's hours, because I don't know if they're even still open, considering it's Easter Sunday. And if they are, and I actually can get there in time, then I'm gonna go, I guess, pick up, definitely gonna pick up that wiring, we have a 12 gauge wire to be able to hook up all the different electronic stuff, like the fan and everything else. More of this wood for the framing. I think what else? Oh, and some type of like plywood to do the bottom and top portions are going to be colored up. And also all the wood that I need for this zone over here to start the bed couch thing. But like I said, I gotta check their hours. I don't have high hopes for them still being open, but we'll find out. Yeah, so they are closed. So I don't know what else I can really get done right now. I don't have any thing to hook up as far as the electronic stuff, so I'm still waiting for some more stuff to come in tomorrow. I can't go to any hardware stores right now. Yeah, I don't know. I might just do some cleaning up, I guess. I know there's with the metal shavings up there from the fan, so I'll go sweep that stuff off the roof, get that off. Yeah, I don't know. Not a lot of other options to really work on stuff right now. So, yeah, I guess I'll just do some general cleaning. I know it's been getting real dusty and dirty in here, so maybe I'll sweep this out the best I can too, even though all these wires are still all over the place. And this, even with the duct tape, popped back off of there, so it's really hanging down here. I'm thinking tomorrow, once I get all that electronic stuff, and if I start messing with that right away, I'm gonna have to disconnect the solar at some point anyway to mess with all the battery stuff. Because I have to disconnect that from the charge controller, so it's not solar just being pumped in there, with it not being taken out anywhere. And I'm going to take that wiring and go like around, probably just like this one, so that way somewhat will hold it in place over here, rather than dangling like right down the middle of the van. Yeah, so I'm just gonna do some cleaning up, and I guess that's pretty much it for this week's video. Next week's gonna be probably like a super long video or multiple videos because I'm off all week, so I'm gonna be doing tons of stuff in here. But yeah, unfortunately, I mean, we still got plenty of sunlight and it's warm, but I just don't have anything to be able to do anything else. So there's no other projects I can really work on. So I'm gonna go ahead and just clean up and find something else to do for the rest of the day, I guess.